In lane 1, we have Arenda with Jamie Greger and Abby Petal. In lane 2, we have Rito's Melissa Black and Diana Deek. In lane 3, we have Toba's Paige Ellison and Emma Mitchell. In 4, we have Shinobi with their line is, and sometimes the buoys move a little bit, and that's what you just have to kind of trust those officials that they're going to go for a fair race.
And we have a clean start to this one as 1 kilometer down the waterways, the Junior Women's K2 1,000 meter race kicks off.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see those stroke rates are still nice and high. They still haven't passed the 100-meter mark. They're probably just going through it about now. They're going to start to slowly bring it down into their cruising pace, something that they'll be able to maintain through that middle part of the race where it's very powerful with a little bit lower stroke rate to keep that boat speed up that they gained in the start.
Yeah, and you say their cruising pace because we've seen lots of 500-meter races so far today, but this is 1,000. So how is the game plan different and the race plan different for a 1,000-meter race?
Yeah, you're definitely taking a little bit longer of a stroke. You're breaking it up so you have a little bit more time in the air to get as much glide out of the boat as possible. You can still see their stroke rates are fairly high as they're coming through the 200-meter mark, but it's all about making sure that you're working perfectly with your partner so that you're not wasting any energy.
Yeah, the more beautifully in stroke there. Looks like lane 2's Rito's Black and Deek set themselves a good pace. I like how they have even matched their hats to the rest of their outfit.
It's always exciting to see Diana Deek. She's actually one of their coaches. So she was quite a good paddler when she was younger, and she was always on the provincial team and just on the national team, racing at the Canada Games. And now she's coming back, and she's racing with some of her athletes and trying to get on the podium with them.
Yeah, something that we've seen actually quite a little bit today. Back in that in that open women's 500 meter IC4, we saw some members of the Mississauga Canoe Club and Rachel Jeffrey. Now she was also in that boat, and after just having a baby only a year ago, so pretty impressive when you can see people who are now coaches come back and be able to compete with their own athletes.
And you can just see how strong this boat in lane 5 from Rito is. Lexi Vincent's been on fire this national championship. She won both the K1 500 and K1000 for the juniors, so she's going to be racing with all those national team girls next year. She has a promising future for sure in the sport.
So in a perfect world, do you put the best K1 athletes, because we've seen lots of great, strong K1 athletes coming from the Rito Canoe Club specifically, you put them in a boat together and it's going to work perfectly and they're going to be the fastest K2?
Oh, if that worked, that would make this sport a lot easier. It's all about timing. You need to have someone that has a rhythm in the front, that they're going to be able to keep it consistent the whole way through. And then you need someone in the back that's really just going to lift that boat and power through it, that can stay in sync with the person in front of them. A lot of this race is just being on the same page as your partner. You know what your race plan is. You can't deviate a ton from it. There's always those changes you need to make in the race, but if you're not together, you're not going to win the race.
And as they approach the 250-meter mark, that is Rito still holding a pretty significant lead. It looks like by a couple boat lengths, holding long and strong in lane 5.
Yeah, Lexi Vincent's in the front, Kate Braden's in the back. She's the power. Lexi's the tempo and trying to lift the nose of that boat up and out of the water to keep it going smooth all the way down to the finish.
And still looks like they're gaining even more water for themselves heading into this 200-meter mark, where they're now really going to start to dig in and as they see the finish light finally in sight, especially in a 1,000-meter race that is it's pretty long, and I feel like you're hurting after 1,000 meters.
Yeah, for sure. Lexi's done a lot of marathon racing. Her family is big into marathon racing back in Saskatchewan in Regina. She grew up at the Wascana Canoe Club before she switched for school out to Ottawa.
And a strong finish we do see here from the Rito Canoe Club. I mean, as long as they're able to stay afloat for this last 50 meters, I think it's pretty safe to say that they will be going home with the gold medal. Following closely behind them, though, in lane 4, that is Shinobi. And coming in right after that in a lane 6, Cascades. We've got a 5-4-6 finish.
And Cascades might be the best place in the country to paddle. It's absolutely gorgeous. You're essentially paddling in cottage country, and you're a 50-minute drive from downtown Ottawa.
Man, I would like to be in cottage country right about now. Just kidding. There's nothing better than the Welland International Flatwater Center. As we see some life jackets still just crossing the finish line there.
Yeah, so those athletes that are wearing the life jackets, they are under 15. So they're racing against a lot of people in this race are going to be in their 20s. So it's impressive to see them competing and still being up there in the race.
And right there, you're looking at boat number 3. That is Toba, Mitchell, and Ellison. Another strong performance we've been seeing constantly, especially in the K boats by Toba. Moving on down the course. Next up, we've got the U17.
Impressive to see out there.
Yeah, the current, actually, very up close to the current record, which is actually 3 minutes and 50.